Hello everyone, dear friends, welcome to my channel. Friends, for latest updates and some other classes regarding the history, please subscribe my channel and press on the bell icon so that the latest update will be known to you. So dear friends, today let us discuss about the history of Vijayanagara kingdom. So Vijayanagara kingdom is one of the important Hindu kingdom during the medieval period. So this is very important even from the exam point of view. So kindly focus on this chapter so you get questions from this. So let's go to the discussion. So on the screen, whatever you see, this is the statue of Sri Krishna Deva Raya, one of the greatest ruler of Vijayanagara kingdom. And this is the temple known as a Vitala Swami temple. It's built by Krishna Deva Raya in Hampi. Okay, let's go deep into the discussion. So this is the sources I got from the book Indian History by Krishna Reddy sir. So this is the genealogy of Vijayanagara dynasty, starting from Sangama. So have a look at this. Various rulers who ruled. So this is the other one. So Vijayanagara kingdom has got four dynasties. So these are the four dynasties history. Okay. Let's go to the discussion. For studying any history of any kingdom, first we should have a proper sources for it. So to sources of any country make the history very makes the kingdom very great. So coming to the sources of Vijayanagara kingdom, so very important sources, there are few. So the sources are three types: literary, archaeological and numismatics. So the numismatic comes under the archaeology. So first let us deal with the literary sources. In the literary sources there are two categories, that is one indigenous and the other one foreign travelers or foreign accounts. So dealing with the indigenous accounts, so that's the first work is Amukya Maleda. The work is by Krishna Deva Raya, is one of the greatest ruler of Vijayanagara kingdom. So the work Amukya Maleda deals with the polity and governance of the Vijayanagara kingdom. How should a king should rule the kingdom? So all these were written in this Amukya Maleda by Krishna Deva Raya. The other one, Manu Charitam, is written by Alasani Peddanna. Manu Charitam deals mainly with the social conditions of Vijayanagara empire. So what were the social conditions, and particularly dealing with the caste system. So in other words, he is also known as a father of Telugu. Okay. So other one, Madura Vijayam. Madura Vijayam is a work by Ganga Devi. She is a wife of Kumara Kampana, and Kumara Kampana is a son of Bukka. She wrote this work, Madura Vijayam. So this work deals with the conquest of Madurai kingdom by Kumara Kampana. So how he conquered the Madurai sultans of Madurai. Okay. The other one, Gangadesa Pralapa Vilasam. This work by Gangadhara Kavi, and this deals with it is basically a contemporary drama. deals with the siege of Vijayanagara kingdom by Bahmanis and Gajapati rulers of Orissa. So how they siege the Vijayanagara kingdom. It is written in detail in this work. Okay. The other one, Saluvabhyudayam, is a work by Rajanada Dindima. So this work was a historical elegy of the Salva dynasty. So these are the indigenous sources. Based on this, they constructed the Vijayanagara history. So let us see some of the foreign accounts. So accounts of foreign travelers. So first we deal with Ibn Battuta. Ibn Battuta is a Moroccan traveler, and he wrote about Vijayanagara under the rule of Harihara. Okay, he came or he wrote about the period of Harihara. The second one, Niccolo di Conti. So he was a Italian traveler, visited Vijayanagara during the period of Devaraya the First. So during the period of Devaraya the First, the Niccolo di Conti visited Vijayanagara Empire. So the other person, Abdur Razak, is a Persian traveler, and he gave an account of Devaraya the Second. So he gave an account under the Devaraya Second. So other one, the Domenico Payas. So other one, Domenico Payas and Edward Barbosa. The both were Portuguese travelers, and they visited court of Krishna Devaraya. So the both were Portuguese travelers and visited the court of Krishna Devaraya. So the last one, Fernão Nunes, is also a Portuguese traveler but visited during the period of Achyuta Devaraya. So these are some of the foreign accounts that tells about the history of Vijayanagara. So here you need to remember that how the questions are asked. So they may be asked like they asked the traveler and where he comes from. Okay, that's one type of question we get. Like for example, Ibn Battuta came from which country? So that Moroccan we have to the answer is like that. They may ask in match the following. So or sometime direct questions you may be asked. See, other type of questions is question that we asked is that the traveler, and then during the whose period he came to the Vijayanagara Empire. So the traveler, for example, during whose period the Domenico Payas came to the Vijayanagara Empire. So like that, such kind of questions can be expected from this. Okay, going to the archaeological sources. So archaeological sources are the important sources to construct the history. So first we see the inscriptions. Okay, so inscriptions, Bagapalli copper plate inscriptions. It is by Harihara the First, and the inscription on the inscription is written about his achievements. What are his achievements? It is written. So the second one, Bitragunta grand inscription of Sangama the Second. The Sangama second was a son of Kampana. So this inscriptions a grant gives information regarding the genealogy of Sangama brothers and the foundation. So how the Sangama foundation started and their genealogy is given in this. So other work, Chennaraya Patana inscription. It is by Harihara II. The inscription says about the successful conquest of the Bukkas. So whatever the Bukkas successfully conquest were taken place, so it's written in this inscription. Okay, the next one, the Srirangam copper plate of Devaraya II. So during Devaraya II the period, the Srirangam copper plate inscription is wrote, and in these inscriptions the various achievements by the ruler. That's Devaraya II. So other one, Devulapalli copper plate inscription by Immadi Narasimha. So Immadi Narasimha is one of the ruler from Salva dynasty. So this account gives a genealogy of Salva dynasty. So are the rulers history of Salva dynasty. Okay, after that go to the numismatics evidences. That numismatic evidences is a study. Numismatic evidences mean mainly study of coins. Okay, so gold coins are called Varaha in Vijayanagara kingdom. So the coins were divided like a full Varaha, half Varaha, and a quarter Varaha. So if you see the coins on one side, this one side will be the deity image or the any animals in symbol of any animal like a bull or a elephant or Gandabear and Foxy. So among some of the elephants, and the other side of the coin. So basically the image of king or the name of the king is minted. So these are the some of the sources that constructed the history of Vijayanagara. So let's go to the political history of Vijayanagara Empire. So this is the period. Can you see the map here? The extension of Vijayanagara kingdom on the whole part of South India. So this is the extension, and this is one of the peak, means the highest expansion period is in this. Okay, let us see what are the neighboring states that we have, and what is the extension up to their kingdom was. Okay, in the north side we see river Tungabhadra. So here will be the river Tungabhadra flowing, and Krishna river will be flowing like that, and both comes one place. So and in between this place is known as Rayachur, which is going to be play a good role between the Vijayanagara and Bahmani kingdom. So on the north, Bahmani kingdom and Gajapati rulers. Inside Orissa, part of Orissa, Gajapatis were there, and here the Bahmani kingdom was there. So in south they expanded up to the southern tip of Tamil Nadu. They expanded up to the southern tip of Tamil Nadu, and in the west we can see the Arabian Sea, and in the east Bay of Bengal. We can see. Okay, so this is the extension of the period. So this is in modern day most of the Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Karnataka, half part of Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh. So up to this extension, this Vijayanagara Empire ruled. So coming to the political history, Vijayanagara kingdom ruled by 4 dynasties. So like that of Delhi Sultanate. We see the history of Delhi Sultanate. The Delhi Sultanate is ruled by 5 dynasties. The dynasties are Ilbari or slave dynasty, Khalji, Tughlaq, Sayyid, and finally Lodi dynasty. Likewise, the Vijayanagara kingdom also was ruled by 4 dynasties. So this is the dynasty, the Sangama dynasty. It started in the year 1336 and lasted up to 1485. And next Salva dynasty That's starting with 1485 and 1505, a very short time. And Tuluva dynasty, the printing mistake, just to put a L here, Tuluva dynasty, in the starting from 1505 to up to 1570. Then Aravid dynasty, it's a namesake dynasty, so there is no much political importance to the Aravid dynasty. But after the battle of Tallikota, that is taken place between the Bahmani sultans and the Vijayanagara collapsed. So from that the Aravid dynasty begins. So for namesake it was ruling, but there was not much important about it. Okay, these are the two brothers, as the Vijayanagara Empire was founded by two brothers, that is Arihara and Bukka. So these are the two brothers that they founded Vijayanagara Empire. Okay, let's see other one, the political history, Sangama dynasty. The Sangama dynasty, as I said, lasted up to 1485. So let us see little background about the how this Vijayanagara rulers Harihara Bukka, they came to the throne. Okay, first of all, they were the feudatories under the Kakatiyas of Warangal, mainly under the ruler of Prataparudra. And once it was conquered by Delhi Sultanates, so they transferred or they migrated to the kingdom of Kampili, the kingdom of Kampili, and there they served as a minister for some time. So for giving asylum to rebels Muslims in the kingdom of Kampili, so this also was conquered by Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Muhammad bin Tughlaq was a Tughlaq ruler from Delhi Sultanate. So he conquered kingdom of Kampili too. And these two brothers, known as Arihara and Bukka, they were taken as prisoners by Muhammad bin Tughlaq. And it said that the two brothers were imprisoned and converted to Islam. So they were converted to Islam, and to deal with some of the rebellions in Kampili kingdom again, these two brothers were sent to south. To deal with some of the rebellion, the two were sent to south. So when they came to the south, taking for the advantages of looking the weak rulers, with the help of a saint or sage known as a Vijayanagara, they again converted to Islam to Hinduism, and started the Vijayanagara Empire. So the saint or sage known as a Vijayanagara is the person. On his name only the Vijayanagara kingdom is said to established, it seems. Okay, so the Vijayanagara capital was on the river bank of the river Tungabhadra, a very magnificent capital. So followed by the two brothers were made as independents, and now conquered Vijayanagara Empire started. So in year, you should remember the year 1336 is the foundation for the Vijayanagara Empire. Here we can see 1336 the foundation for Vijayanagara Empire, and it is said that is 1336 is the coronation of Arihara. So this is the year of coronation of Arihara. So he ruled certain time up to 1356, the Harihara. So during his period only, in 1346, they conquered Hoysala. They completely conquered Hoysala. The Hoysala kingdom almost passed into the hands of Vijayanagara kingdom. So in south, we see two important kingdoms, that is Hoysalas and the Sultans of Madurai. So now already the Sultans of Madurai, Hoysala kingdom was conquered, by 1346. So another thing you should remember here, in the year 1347. So year 1347 is a foundation for the Bahmani Sultan. So in the year 1347, Bahmani Empire is founded, okay, by Asan Gangu. Okay, looking at the period during the period of Bukka the second, before going into the Bukka the second, we see the Vidyaranya, about Vidyaranya. As I said, he was a Hindu sage, and he was a 12th Sadguru of Singeri Sarda Peetam. So there were 4 Peetams established by Adi Shankara during that period. So the 4 Peetams were 4 sides of the Indian kingdom, Indian country. Okay, so the first one being this one, the Sringeri Sarda Peetam in the south, that is in the state of Karnataka, and by other one, the Dwaraka Sarda Peetam, it is in the west part, so in the state of Gujarat, and we see other one, Govardhana Peetam in Odisha in the east part of this country, and finally the Badri Dosisha Peetam, it is in northern part of the country in Uttarakhand. So among the 4, the Sringeri Sarda Peetam and Guru Sadgurus. So 12th person, 12th Sadguru is Vidyaranya. So remember his name, he will be important from the exam point of view. So now let's see history. Let's see the history again. The 1346, the 1346, the Hoysala kingdom passed into the hands of the Vijayanagara, and in the period, the Bukka period comes here. So after the 4 decades, maybe by 1377, the sultans of Madurai is also wiped out from the Tamil Nadu. So now the kingdom of Vijayanagara is reached up to the southern tip of Tamil Nadu. Up to the southern tip of Tamil Nadu, we can see the expansion of Vijayanagara kingdom. Okay, let's go. Now let's look into the conflict. So once they conquered the whole part of the South India, so they focused on North India to expansion toward the north. Okay, as I said, in the north there were one side Bahmani sultans, and other side the Gajapati rulers of Orissa. So there was during the entire period between the Vijayanagara and the Bahmanis, there was conflict during entire period. So the conflict was based majorly on 3 areas. That is Rayachur Doab. Rayachur Doab was between the river Krishna and Tungabhadra. So here Tungabhadra is our name printed wrong. Tungabhadra, river Tungabhadra. So this is the fertile land. To have a power on this, there was a conflict always between this one, and other area is control of Krishna Godavari delta. So between the river Krishna and Godavari, there is a fertile land which was useful for agricultural purposes. So to have a control about this delta, there was a conflict. And the third one is a Marathwada region. In Marathwada region, why it is important means there is a strip of land that in the Konkan coast between the Western Ghat mountains and Arabian Sea. strip of land was very fertile, and also along with this, the Goa port was also very important. So during this period, the whatever the Indian bred horses were not in good condition, or not meant for a war. So they used to import the horses from Iran and Iraq in the Goa port. So that is why this Goa port was, or Konkan coast became very important from the trade point of view. Okay, another one, gold mines, Golconda gold mines. Sorry, diamond mines. It is said that Golconda is famous for a diamond mines. Okay, now uh, let's see the during the Bukka's reign. So Bukka seized uh, Mudkal fort, um, uh, where he killed all the garrison of the Bahmani sultans, where Bahmani got very furious about it, and he wanted to kill same number of Hindus in Vijayanagara kingdom. So the both were fought in a battle, and where Bukka was defeated, and he ran into the jungles. So after for a long time, 6 months of time period, the war continued. As the Bahmani said, it took many lives of Hindu women, children, and all those things. Okay, so finally the treaty was concluded, and according to the treaty, they restored the old possessions, and the Rayachur Dog is a fertile land was shared between the two. Okay, and coming to the Harihara, the second Harihara period, so he tried to expand his empire towards the east. So we see during this period, on the east side there were Kakatiyas of Warangal, and also Reddy Kingdom was there. So towards the eastward expansion led an alliance between the Kakatiyas of Warangal and Bahmani Sultans. So combined alliance, the Harihara could not do anything. So there were also conflict between sometime between Warangal and Bahmani Sultans. So this is why the in the beginning, the Golconda fort was in the with the Warangal, Kakatiyas of Warangal. But because of the conflict or fight between the Warangal and Bahmani Sultans, the Golconda fort was passed into the hands of Bahmani Sultans. Okay, then let us see the period Devaraya the first. Uh, he was a very important personality, and he started a fight for a Rayachur though. So where he only started, where he was defeated by Firoz Shah. Firoz Shah was a Bahmani Sultan, where he got defeated. Okay, now since he defeated, the Devaraya first has to pay the war indemnity as 10 lakhs, and also he married his daughter to Firoz Shah, and as a dowry, uh, he gave the Bangpur a place in Rayachuddo, given as a dowry to Firoz Shah. And the later, where the Reddy Kingdom, as I said, the Reddy Kingdom was there in the east. So the Vijayanagaras and Kakatiyas were aligned to conquer the Reddy Kingdom. So but it was disturbed by even the Firoz Shah. So in this later in this conflict, the Firoz Shah was defeated, and Devaraya first he extended his empire up to the mouth of river Krishna. So, and after conquering the Reddy kingdoms, Devaraya, yeah, is known for construction of certain dams on the river Tungabhadra, and and also he prepared canals for irrigation purpose. So because of this policy, construction of dams and canal irrigation, so the revenue of kingdom increased. The next come to the period of the Devaraya II, and is known as the greatest among the Sangama dynasty. So as there are four dynasties, the first one begins with the Sangama dynasty, and is the greatest among the all. So he is known for recruiting Muslims in his army, because there he thought that Muslims were well versed in archery or in the battles. So he recruited many Muslims in his army, and he told that his Hindu soldiers to learn archery from the Muslims. So the other one, with a good equipped army. Now since he recruited Muslims in his army, now he became little powerful. So with a good recruited army, he crossed river Tungabhadra, which was a bone of contention between the Bahmani and the Vijayanagara Empire, and recovered the Mutkal, fort of Mutkal and Bangpur, which were part of Vijayanagara Empire earlier. Okay, which were part of Vijayanagara Empire earlier. So after Devaraya II, the Mallikarjuna Raya comes to the power, and there is not much important about these rulers, Mallikarjuna Raya and Virupaksha II. So after this, the Salva dynasty begins. So Salva dynasty was founded by Salva Narasimha, and he was basically a regent or a minister in the uh, Sangama period, and during the last ruler, that is Virupaksha, and taking the advantages weak rulers, he conquered the throne. So three kings were there, that is Tirumala, he ruled for 1 year. Then comes in Immadi Narasimha. So both were small minors, and during this regency Narasanayaka was there, a person or minister under them. And Immadi Narasimha should be remembered because Vasco da Gama, who founded the sea route to India, came during his period, that is in 1498. So for this only you need to remember Immadi Narasimha. So sometime they may ask during whose period, or during Vijayanagara kingdom, whose period the Vasco da Gama came to India. So that's the one, and with this the Salva dynasty ended, and comes to the next Tulva dynasty. So as I said, Narasanayaka was regency under Salva rulers. So his son Veera Narasimha, he was a son of Narasanayaka. He assassinated the Salva ruler, and he took over the throne. So Veera Narasimha ruled for certain period up to 1505 to 1509. Ruled up to this period. So after him, the Krishnadevaraya starting rule from 1509 to 1529. So sometime you need to remember the time period too, because even the sometimes his time period is asked in some of the exams like banks and other general exams. So it is said that so he was the greatest ruler of all Vijayanagara kings. So there were many kings, but among the all, he was the greatest. The question is asked, who is the greatest ruler of Vijayanagara? So remember, and he has titles. He has very important titles. Even the titles are asked sometime in exams. Titles like Kannada Raja Ram Ramana and Andhra Bhoja, Muru Rayara Gonda, Maharajati Raja, Dakshina Samudreshwara, and Abhinava Bhoja, etc. There are other titles too. So these are the important titles happen. So now let us see the achievements of some of the achievements of Krishnadeva Raya. So basically he was a so powerful ruler, and he put a check to the northern he did not allow the Bahmanis or Orissa rulers to expand their empire to the Vijayanagara empire. So likewise his first achievement was a Battle of Raichur. Battle of Raichur is in the year 1520. This is also known as a Battle of Diwan. Battle of Diwan. Remember. So the battle took place in the year 1520, and this was first invasion of. So by this time the Bahmani kingdom was integrating. So one by one getting separated. So by this time already the Bijapur kingdom was got separated and came to the fight with the Vijayanagara. So the battle of Raichur was between Vijayanagara Empire, Krishnadeva Raya. The other side, Bijapur ruler is known as Ismail Adil Shah. So the both fought, and Krishnadeva Raya defeated the Bijapur king, and Krishnadeva Raya also conquered up to the Gulbarga. Gulbarga once upon a time capital city of Bahmani kingdom, and after that they shifted to Bidar. So even these two places were conquered by Devaraya, Krishna Devaraya. So for this he got the title known as a Yavana Raja Sthapanacharya. Yavana Raja Sthapanacharya, which means the establisher of Muslim kingdom. So the meaning for this. Then other next his policy was towards the Portuguese. So now Portuguese slowly they came in for 1498, and they slowly began to expand their fort or their trade in India. So during this period the Albuquerque, the Portuguese governor, was a contemporary of the Krishnadeva Raya, and it's said that they had an agreement that Albuquerque would help Krishnadeva Raya against Bijapur, where Krishnadeva Raya should help Portuguese against a Zomarin ruler. Okay, this is one agreement they had, and even they agreed. The Portuguese agreed the stop of monopoly of horse trade with the Bijapur. So these are the some treaties with the Portuguese, and the other Orissa campaign. This is Orissa campaign by Krishnadeva Raya. So Orissa ruler, Gajapati ruler, known as Prataparudra, since he invaded the northern district of Vijayanagara, so in return Krishnadeva Raya attacked Odisha, and after conquering there, Krishnadeva Raya put a pillar of victory, and after defeat, the Prataparudra gave his daughter in marriage to Krishnadeva Raya. Then after this we see the rule of Achyuta Devaraya. Achyutadevaraya, you need to remember his name because during this period only, Nunis was a Portuguese traveler. He came during the period of Achyutadevaraya. Okay, followed by Sadashivaraya, just he was a namesake ruler, but all the power was rest in a minister named Ramaraya. He was sole responsibility, and he is also known as a son-in-law of Krishna Devaraya. He was a son-in-law of Krishna Devaraya. He married daughter of Krishna Devaraya. Okay. So, yeah, Krishna Devaraya. And Ramaraya is said to been in the Golconda, means serving as a minister there. And once he married the daughter of Krishna Devaraya, he came to the Vijayanagara Empire. So during this period only, the Battle of Talikota took place. Battle of Talikota is very important in the history of Vijayanagara because the Battle of Talikota brought ruins or defeated the Vijayanagara king. He used to play important role, and he even once defeated the three that is three principalities like Qutub Shahis of Golconda, Ahmednagar, and Vijapur. He defeated three of them, and he used to fight between the put a quarrel among themselves, like among the Muslims themselves. He is known for that. So is when the battle took place, the Battle of Talikota is known by various names like Battle of Rakshasa Tangadi or Battle of Banihatti. So these are the different names that were given to this battle. So in this battle, Adya Ramaraya was headed, and he was defeated by combined forces of these three. Combined forces of Qutub Shahis of Golconda, Ahmednagar, and Bijapur. And once he was defeated, he was beheaded, and he was cut off his head by this one. And here you need to remember this Ibrahim Adil Shah. He came to the Vijayanagara kingdom where his brother Jalandhar Shah expelled him. So forgetting this help, even he fought against Vijayanagara. Okay. Now, after the Ramaraya's death or execution, his brother Aliya Ramaraya started the Aravid dynasty. Okay, Aliya Ramaraya started the Aravid dynasty. So you see Aravid dynasty rulers. So sometimes this questions means the kings are asked in exams. Match the following, otherwise arrange in a chronological order. So like that. So Aliya Ramaraya he was executed, and his brother Tirumala Devaraya and Sriranga Venkada II, Ramadevaraya and Venkata III, and Sriranga III. So up to here the political history of Vijayanagara. So once again you can see that genealogy of Vijayanagara kingdom. So these rulers are important because they are asked most of the time to arrange the king's name in chronological order. So remember this one. Going to the next, administration of Vijayanagara kingdom. So now let's see how the administration was there. So here in the administration, the king was absolute authority, and in his hands he had a power of executive, judicial, and legislative matter. and he is highest court of appeal and supreme lawgiver. So basically, the king in any kingdom, the king was assisted by council of minister, and he are headed by PM, the Pradhan Mantri, to help king in his administrative matters. But the choice was left with the king whether to be done or not to be done. Okay, and the central administration was divided into different departments, and supervise each department is supervised by the royal officer. So they also followed the success of followed the law of succession. So law of succession means after the one ruler, that hereditary principle of peaceful succession. So there also sometimes we see some obstruction of the throne, like if you see Salva Narasimha and even Veera Narasimha, they assassinated or absorbed the throne from the previous ruler or dynasty. So now let's come to the administration. So in the provinces were divided into mandalas or rajas. Mandala or raja is known as a province, and it is headed by Mandaleshwar. Mandala is headed by Mandaleshwar, and raja is also one another, and is by Nayaka. It's a Y. So Nayaka, Mandaleshwar and Nayaka. Then other section, that is Nadu. Nadu is a district administration, and it was headed by Nadu Prabhu. And other one Stala. Stala is important because it's asked for some time. It's a Stala means it's a sub district. Then comes to the Grama. Grama knows and very well, that is village. So here, so not Faida, it is Gouda. So village was headed by Gouda. Write it down, Gouda. So sometimes it's also asked in. So this is the central government, and coming to the provincial administration. So provincial administration, there were two types of provinces. First type is a province where the king administered it by directly. So king directs control was there on the province. And the second type of province is ruled by feudatories or nayakas. So so this is also known as a Nayankara system also. So Nayankara system, it was origin was in Kakatiyas of Warangal by Rudramadevi. So such kind of two provinces were there, and there was a more autonomy to the feudatories and Nayakas, and these feudatories or Nayakas, they have to pay a annual tribute to king, that is to central government, and they had to maintain the military troops in the war. So whenever the war takes place, these feudatories or Nayakas, they should send their soldiers for the war. Okay. So coming to the next, that is so here we see some of the social conditions during the Vijayanagara Empire. Okay, the Brahmins, as there is in every section of society, there is a social hierarchy, like Brahmins, and so Kshatriyas and Vaishyas and Sudras. So the four hierarchy was there. And coming to the Brahmins, they were known as a Viprulu, and they followed the old tradition like a teaching, a teacher, or a priest. So, so sometime according to the Domingo Pius, so he's a Portuguese traveler. What he said is Brahmins sometimes performed the duties of soldiers and administrators too. Then according to him that was a absent of Kshatriyas. So there was a class of Kshatriya is absent. So coming to the Vaishyas known as a Matti Karatalu. Matti Karatalu, known, their work was to mainly trade and commerce. Okay, the coming to the fourth one that is Sudras. So they were known as a Nalla Jati Varu, and these people were mostly agriculturalists. Okay, and we see somehow how the position of women. So according to the Nunis, a large number of women were employed in the royal palaces, and in the royal palaces their work is to work as a dancer or domestic servants, and there were also women wrestlers or wrestlers fighting with the Dangal movie. So like that they were also women wrestlers, and sometimes women also appointed as a accountants, judges, uh, watchwomen, and bailiffs. And there was also prevalent the Devadasi system. So, and practice of dancing girl was attached to the temple. So this also was there, and Devadasis were given highly respectable position in the society, and given land grants and maid servants and also jewelry for them. So some we can see education of women. Education of women, that's we see Ganga Devi, the wife of Kampana. She wrote Madhura Vijayam in the beginning. We see in the sources of Vijayanagara Empire. So other one Tirumala poetess, she was also there in Achyuta Devaraya period. So there were also evil practices against women, like existing one like sati, dowry, prostitution, Devadasi system, child marriage. All these were existing along with. So coming to the some of the religion, the early Vijayanagara empires were known as a Shaivites. So they were worshipper of Shaivism, uh, and the Virupaksha was a family god. Virupaksha was family god. This question was asked, and the later Vijayanagara rulers were worshippers of Vaishnavism. Okay, okay. Now, coming to the literary contribution of Vijayanagara. So Vijayanagara rulers like Harihara, Bukka, it's not Kukka, it is a Bukka, Devaraya II and Krishna Devaraya extended liberal patronage to the scholars in Telugu, Kannada, Tamil, and Sanskrit. So these four languages were patronized. Okay, and during the period of Krishna Devaraya is known as a golden age for a Telugu literature or Telugu. Okay, and Krishna Devaraya, coming to the Telugu books, the Krishna Devaraya himself was a scholar in Telugu, and he wrote Amuktya Malyada, a work which deals with the polity and governance of the Vijayanagara Empire. It was written in a Telugu. So his court was adorned by Ashtadiggajas. So Ashtadiggajas means 8 poets were there in the court of Vijayanagara. Krishna Devaraya. So among them famous was Allasani Peddanna. Allasani Peddanna was very famous because he is known as a father of Telugu, and he is a father of Telugu. That means Andhra Kavita Pitamaha. And his work is Manu Charitam. There are lot of works written by Telugu poets. but I have given some of the important works so that we can come across in exams. Okay, Alasan Bedana, after him he is the one person. Then Durjati, and he is also poet. And coming to all the people are related to the poet. Okay, so Durjati, he wrote Kalahastishwara Mahatyam and other work Kalahastishwara Shatakam. So these were two works by Durjati. And next Nandi Timmana. So Nandi Timmana, his work is Parijata Paharanam. So remember. And the next was Madhyagiri Mallanna, and his famous work was Rajashekara Charitam. Rajashekara Charitam was famous work of Madhyagiri Mallanna. Okay, coming to the other one, the Ramabhadra. Ramabhadra is known for his work Ramabhyudayam. Then the next comes to the Tenali Ramakrishna, very important Telugu poet after Alasani Peddanna, and he has written Panduranga Mahatyam. So great work, deals with Puranas, I think. And sorry, Vikata Kavi is known as a Vikata Kavi. So it's like a sort of kind of title it asked. Okay, and the next person Bhushanudu. His work is Vasu Charitam. Vasu Charitam was his work. Okay, and next Pingali Suranna, his work, though his work is very popular, Garuda Puranam was written by Pingali Suranna. So now let us see some of the works in Sanskrit. So there was a Sanskrit literature produced by Vijayanagara and became very important. Okay, and now some of the work, Vidyaranya. Okay, Vidyaranya, as you see in the beginning, he was the person who converted Hariharan Bukka back to the Hinduism. Okay, and he is known for writing around 60 works regarding Vedas, Mahabharata, and Ramayana. So, as he said, he is a sage and a great scholar too. Okay, then next comes to the Madhava Sayana. Madhava Sayana is a person, and his work was Palsara Madhavikam. So this is his work. Okay, it's a Sanskrit work. And other person was Ganga Devi. She was the wife of Marakampana, and she wrote Madhura Vijayam, as we saw in the beginning, as a sources for the history of Vijayanagara. Then next comes Tirumalamba. She was a poetess. She wrote Varadambika Parinai. And so some of the works, as I said, Krishnadeva Raya was scholar in Telugu, Kannada, as well as in Sanskrit. So there are many works in Sanskrit like Madalasa Charitam and Rasamanjari. Let me write here. Rasamanjari. So this is one of the work, and Jambavati Kalyanam and Usha Parini. These are some of the works by Krishnadeva Raya. Okay, let's go to the other one. That's this final one, Art and Architecture of Vijayanagara Empire. Art and Architecture of Vijayanagara Empire. So Provida is known as a Vijayanagara style of architecture. So we see the style of architecture prevalent So mostly if the architecture is built by northern, then it is known as a Nagara style of architecture, and if it is built by southern empire, southern kings, and then it is known as a Dravida style of architecture, and mixture of both is known as a Vesara style of architecture. It was there in a under the period of Chalukyas. So Chalukyas art and architecture is known as a Vesara style of architecture. Okay, now coming to the Vijayanagara, the style is known as a Provida style. It is a mixture of both, like Chola, Chalukyas, Pandyas, these four Chalukyas and Hoysalas. So combining these four features, the Vijayanagara temple construction was consisted. Okay, now let us look at some of the important temples that are very important, which are asked sometime in exams too. So first is Vitala Swami and Azara Rama temple. This Hampi. These two temples are located in present-day Karnataka state of Hampi, and these two temples were built by Devaraya II. So these two temples are built by Devaraya II. Okay, and another one, Tadapatri and Parvati temple, two temples, Tadapatri and Parvati temple. This located at Chidambaram. This Chidambaram is one of the district in Tamil Nadu state. Okay, and next to Varadaraja and Ekambaranatha temple at Kanchipuram. These are the temples constructed by Vijayanagara in different parts of Vijayanagara kingdom. Okay, so this is in Kanchipuram. These two temples are in Kanchipuram. So what are some of the new features that we come across in a Vijayanagara temple architecture? Okay, here new style of new structure of came into prominent, known as a Amman shrine. So Amman shrine was a new structure of architecture, and mandapas. Mandapas also important feature, that is open pavilion. So it is basically in front of Garbhagriha there will be open pavilion, or this known as mandapas, because in this place also the marriages used to take place. So marriages or any administrative discussions were taken place in this. So the other one was a horse was a common animal on pillars. So horse was a common animal where everywhere we see on the pillars of Vijayanagara temple architecture, horse as a common animal. Okay, pillars, not pillars, pillars. Okay, and Raya Gopuram, the Raya Gopuram means Gopuram which is the tallest. So they come across the building Raya Gopuram, very large or height, tallest structure. That's why they are known as the tallest Gopurams or Raya Gopuram. So these are some of the features that Vijayanagara temple architecture has got. So this is the end, friends. It will be useful from the exam point of view to UGC NET, even the civil services and APPS and TSPSC. So and even the Karnataka state students also can make use of this lecture. So thank you, friend. Thank you so much. Once again, subscribe my channel for the latest videos.